Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages, welcome back to another installation. Installment. Installation. Another installment of Star Citizen, and I'm actually in the PU today. But look at these frames. They're fucking gorgeous. I'm pretty certain I just spawned into a fresh server, so that means it is time to mosey on over to ICC and try to wipe as many pirates off the universe as possible. Out of, not off. You can't wipe anything off the universe. Wipe them out of the universe.
Hello.
And we are going to do that with extreme prejudice.
Launch sequence complete.
But not the kind of, prejudice that's intolerant. No, not that. I am not that kind of prejudice. I'm not prejudiced at all. This is in prejudice of the law that they. All right, I'm gonna stop. So what we're gonna do is go see our favorite ICC employee, Tessa.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Tessa Bannister.
Second-class junior cartographer Tessa Bannister reporting.
ICC cartographer. That's what I meant.
Behind all the ICC scan probes in the area.
So
These little guys see.
let's enable that.
Which, yes, means I can totally see you right now. Anyway, there was actually a reason to why I commed. I'm sort of not allowed to leave my post. Important jump point scanning and all. So I was hoping you might be able to help me with something. If you have a second, could you check out these coordinates? Scans are saying something's there.
Kick the engines on. I wonder if I have my voice attack on. Let's test. Hi, Alex. Nope, that is not on. But that's okay, because now I won't be doing things by accident while speaking. So, if you're new to the channel, or if you've never seen one of these, this is the Starfarer Gemini. Built by MISC, or MISC, but the correct enunciation is MISC. And the cool thing about MISC ships is they are human-made, but with alien technology also incorporated. Not quite sure what alien technology is incorporated into the Starfarer, in this case the Starfarer Gemini, which is the militarized version. So, according to the Gemini page on RSI, this has better armor, better engines, better weapons. It's the UEE's, quote, rough and tumble variant or version, and it absolutely kicks ass. It's my giant space turtle, and it also kind of looks like Master Chief, and I find that hilarious. It definitely comes equipped with some really hard-hitting armaments. We got 4 size 4 C788 combined ballistics right there on the nose, or I'm sorry, the ear. I guess what you could call the ear section of the Master Chief helmet. I'm wiggling them. And then on the top turret, we have 2 size 5, count them, 2 size 5 M7A laser weapons, as opposed to the 2 size 4 on the base Starfarer. And then on the back, you can't really see it, but there's actually there's actually 2 turrets. Here's one, outfitted with, I believe that's the 11 series broadsword ballistic weapons. And if we wander on down here, we got another rear-facing turret with 2 size 3 Panther repeaters. Now I decided, let me get some light on there. So I decided to go laser and ballistics. That way I've got both avenues covered. Energy, so that way they can just continually fire forever, and ballistics to really put that hurting on any enemy force who is giving chase. So with that, we should be just about getting to the trigger zone for the Ninetails Pirates. Well, pirate, unless there's a stowaway on board that I am not aware of. And... oh, how cute. It's an Aurora. Oh, he gonna try so hard. Oh, look at the little guy. He's so cute. Oh, if I can hit it. There we go. A little bit of lag there, but it looks like that actually worked to my benefit, so I'm not gonna complain. Let's whip down to the beacon. And is there anybody? Nope. Thought I heard someone coming up behind us. Let's do a quick scan, make sure there's nobody. Nobody. Hell, I don't even think we took any shots on that. And that, my friends, is one of the reasons why I absolutely love the Gemini. Those 4 size 4s, given that they are ballistics, more or less ignore shields. Pass right through them, in fact. So, more often than not, whenever those rounds make contact with the hull, it's doing straight hull damage, not being deflected by shields. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think they also do some energy damage. Let me look back to my guide here, but I am quite certain they also do energy damage. So the C788 Combines, the 4 size 4 weapons that I have on the quote ears of the Master Chief helmet, they've got a rough velocity of about 1100 meters a second. Their range, now get this, 3,700 meters. That means, I mean, it can really reach out and touch you. Now the damage that it does is 450 plus 451, giving a combined total of 901 damage. So basically, almost anything that you make a direct hit with is dying. And its DPS is about 615,000. I'm sorry, 615.68. I can't really read. It's got 615 with a comma and then 68. So I'm guessing that's 616, but that doesn't make sense considering these fire faster than less than twice a second. But anyway, C788 Combines can also be rented with rec for about 1,800 rec apiece. So you'd be able to get what's that? A little over 8,000. 16. No, wait a minute. 18 and 18 is 32, 36, so 36 times 2, 6, 12, 7, so 72. So 7,200 rec, yeah, recs, what am I saying? It's been a long day, I can't maths, so don't make fun of me. 7,200 rec, and you would be able to outfit anything that can hold anything that can hold 4 size 4s. So if you've got a Caterpillar, ooh, that's uncomfortably close. If you've got something like a Caterpillar, and you throw those Combines onto the front and rear facing turrets, you're basically just going to glide through almost any situation. Which, that actually sounds like a good idea.
Think you could head on back and whip us up a cup of something hot? I'm about to pass out. Got a contact. Multiples. Let's see what the ridges say. Not coming up. Forget the drink. I need you on shield now.
So I think what I'm gonna do is, after I get done playing, I'm gonna take a stroll over to
Appreciate you looking into that scan for me?
electronic access on the site
I had been hoping
and
discovering you
go rent
rock or something.
4 combines for
What
my
if I
new
really need to?
pirate caterpillar. Because really, if anything's going to have damage output of that magnitude, it should be the caterpillar. Pirate caterpillar at that. Because that makes sense to me.
Hello. How can MISC help you today? Systems on.
Alright, so let's see if we can reverse and not slam into any more debris. Because I've basically almost done that already. Spin around. Kick in super boost. And we will go back to see how Tessa is doing.
Quantum travel, engage.
Oh yeah. Hyperdrive. Dun 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 dun.
Oh, a repeat visit. I should probably be less impressed by that, shouldn't I? Quick question for you. This sounds serious, right? It's coming from these coordinates. You should help if you can.
Alright, so as I was just showing you during Tessa's little spiel there, this does come with 9 size 3 missiles. Now, talk about packing a punch. So, because this is the militarized version, they swapped out the front gaseous fuel collector and refinery for the missile pod. I guess you could call it a missile pod. Not to be confused with the missile pod from the Mustang Delta, which are dumbfires. In fact, I would actually call those rocket pods, as they're literally just tubes of gunpowder being fired at, you know, whatever it happens to bump into. Whereas these have a lot more firepower to them, being size 3 versus what I can only assume are size 1 rockets on those pods, given that it is a size 2, technically a size 2 mount, and there is like there's at least 13 on each side. During one of my Arena Commander tests, I basically fired all of the rocket pods, and when I picked up the ballistics, which refuels your rocket pods, which leads me to believe they're basically just glorified explosive rounds, but hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I picked up 26. So on one ballistics pickup, I got 26 rockets. So I'm guessing that there's probably about 15 on each side, or there is just 13. And it just fire, because when you fire the rocket pods, they fire 2 at a time. I don't remember if I said that or not.
Thank you for helping me. Maybe someday I'll be able to return the favor.
But the rocket pods are surprisingly fun when they land. I actually kind of really dig it, because like I said, in my mind, I kind of chalk them up to being more like ballistic explosive rounds.
Space is dangerous, but it's good to know that there are people like you out there too. Quantum travel.
Actually, let's watch it this time, just as if we were actually in the cockpit. Look at that. Oh, no more stars. Oh god. Oh, okay. We're back. I wonder if you'd actually be able to see them whipping by like this, because I mean, technically those stars, you know, are just light. We're not even really looking at them. I mean, those could have long burned out
That last distress call
years and years ago,
messed up stuff.
since they're so far away. Oh, shower thoughts. So, let's see. I believe the starting ammunition for the combines are about 120. If I'm doing my maths correctly, because I want to say I probably fired about 4 or 5 at the Aurora, and I just fired another about 4 or 5 at that Gladius. So, safe guesstimate to say it's about 120. Now, if you check this out, I have a ridiculous amount of UEC, or a UEC at the moment. Reason I have so much is A, I've been grinding, and B, back in
Hey, you busy?
like May,
There's a DB blinking like crazy
when
on
they
my
were
screen.
announcing that
Yeah,
3.0 was slated to come out for June to Evocati,
They get help.
I
get to stop
made a
hearing
personal
loud
challenge
beep, beep
where I
every
was going
freaking
to
second. Oh, and DB stands
try
for
to
distress
get
checking, by
to
the way.
300,000 before
I
3.0 came out.
Feel free to start using it.
And I actually made it like 2 days before the initial projected Evocati release date. So I did in fact make my goal at the original time, but here we are now in the latter half of October, and it's just gotten to Evocati. So I can only hope that it gets a wider PTU release, hopefully around CitizenCon. But the way that the bugs appear to be appearing, I am feeling less and less hopeful. In fact, I would go so far as to say it would be a mistake if the wider release isn't out by or on Christmas. That's going to be a major hurdle to not do that, because just for the amount of new people who are waiting for 3.0 to buy in, and on top of that, all the Christmas money, there's going to be a lot of people with some extra money that they can throw at Star Citizen, and I think it's going to be a monumentally huge error if they don't get it out. They're going to really miss out on what could potentially be a massive revenue stream, even if they don't introduce a new ship. I know that they announced the Game Changer, and they announced it at a ridiculous price of $850 for concept. Now, knowing the way SIG does their ships, that just means it's going to get bigger and it's going to get more expensive as the release date approaches. And we don't even know what the damn thing is. We were shown a silhouette, and they expect people to make a decision with that amount of money over something that we literally have no information about aside from it's game changing. Now, had they at least stated what its purpose is going to be and what it's going to excel in or be used for, that would at least give some of us the opportunity to start, saving or start melting some of the multitudes of ships that some of us may have that are just sitting there collecting dust and don't have timeline for when those are coming out. And what I'm referencing there is the Tortoise and the Hurricane pack. The Terrapin is just being worked on, and so is the Hurricane, but they haven't given us any updates in what seems like and feels like forever. you know, I really like how ATV gives us a look into the development process, but in my opinion, they are way too stingy on ship content. The only saving grace for that seems to be Sandy Gardner's Twitter, where every other week or so, she's tweeting out pictures of behind-the-scenes development with different developers working on different aspects. And that's the stuff that I'm really digging. You know, I really like to see things going from concept into game, or concept to model to in-game to high poly. You know, and just being able to see that transition and see the different, you know, ways that they alter during development. Granted, you know, you could argue and say, oh, well, Jump Point does a good job of, you know, showing some of that concept stuff, and yeah, it does. But keyword, some. I want to see more. You know, one of the big draws to Star Citizen, at least for me, was being able to see the to see it grow. You know, it's kind of like watching a baby. You know, you see the parents, in this instance, you know, really Chris Roberts and Kickstarter, and they have all these ideas and all these plans, and it starts to grow, and as it grows, it gets a little older, gets a little bit more mature, and then, you know, things start changing, and hair starts growing in places that it never did, and oh, wait. Well, you know what I mean. And, you know, that can kind of be explained for, that could be the explanation for some of the, quote, feature creep that I've heard some other prominent YouTubers both praise and lament over. In fact, just like Failure to Report, who has said, you know, he cashed in and got a refund on some of his ships because the premise of the game for what he originally bought in for has changed so drastically, which at first I was like, dude, that's not cool, you know, thinking to myself, I don't know the guy and I haven't talked to him, but I'm thinking to myself, you know, dude, that's not cool. The whole point is, you know, you're not buying anything, you're pledging. You know, you're basically saying, I see the project that you're working on, I like this idea, and I want to help make that a thing. And depending on the amount of backing that you give, SIG then turns around and says, well, hey, you know, because you believed in us, you know, this much and gave us X amount, well, here, let's give you a gift to say thank you for believing in our dream and wanting to help it become a reality. You know, I think the problem is a lot of backers and a lot of new backers, let me rephrase that, because the veteran backers, they know what they were in for when they signed up for it. But a lot of the new backers are used to the AAA way of doing video games. And by the AAA way, I'm pretty sure you know what I mean, but let me clarify. The AAA way, in my opinion, is they hastily put a game together, game-breaking bugs and all, and still push it out and call it complete. And a lot of these people are saying things that are very symptomatic of that. They're saying, oh, just release it as it is, and, you know, bugs and all, and this and that, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, the thing that those people don't realize is Chris Roberts and CIG, you know, has morals. You know, they've got a soul. They don't want to put something out there that is going to be crappy or be, you know, not perfect. And, I mean, that can be a gift and a curse. It can be a gift in that he wants the highest quality and will settle for nothing less. But it can be a curse because he wants the highest quality and will settle for nothing less. But, you know, I kind of commend that. In this day and age where there's loot boxes in single-player games and microtransactions that can be so large that they're basically macro transactions, and you're now playing a fee to play, not free to play, but these games you purchase have a free-to-play model that you're paying for. It's a fee to play. And then, you know, the naysayers and the trolls and the Derek Smarts will say, oh, well, it's a scam, and, you know, oh, they're robbing you, and and it's like, well, no, if you read, you know, what you are doing, you know, you're not buying something unless you're buying the packages. So when you buy the packages, you're getting Star Citizen and Squadron 42. Yes, you bought those, but you also pledged. You're also giving money to the development. Games change drastically from when they're first thought up and started to when they end. Look at Zelda: The Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. That game had so many other ideas and features that were planned for it, but due to a myriad of different variables, they weren't able to accomplish it. That doesn't mean that it was a bad game. Hell, it was probably one of, if not the best, Nintendo 64 title, next to GoldenEye. I mean, right there, top two. And those were both semi-rushed. You know, so it does go to show some things, you know, they can be good when they're rushed. But when you really sit down and you take the time and the effort and you put into, you know, the game, I mean, it's going to be that much more. You know, it's like when you try to bake a cake or make food. You know, the longer you got it in the oven, the more cooked it's going to be. But at the same time, cook it for too long and you're going to ruin it. And I think a lot of these new backers aren't understanding that it's in alpha. This isn't early access. This is alpha. There's a huge difference. You know, it takes more than a few years to build a video game. It just seems like it's a few years because we're so used to, you know, like Call of Duty. You know, that's ruining people's ideas of the business because they have multiple companies working in shifts. You know, like they've got three different companies that are working on 3 different games more than likely at any given time. So World War II is about to come out. Well, they've been working on that, I think that's it, for like 4 or 5 years. And then the company who will be releasing it next year has already been working on it for 2 or 3 years. And the company after them is, you know, probably still in concept or something. I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but just as an example. And Red Dead Redemption for the PlayStation 2, that took 7 years to come out. And they had a budget very similar to Star Citizen. That was a super fleshed out game. Star Citizen really has only been in development, technically, for about 4 years. Technically less if you want to, you know, only count when they started to have a real workforce. Or, it's been in for about 5 years if you want to think of it, or if you want to take into account when it was basically just Chris and Aaron Roberts punching away at CryEngine to put together the tech demo. Regardless, take either of those figures, and they're still well within the timeline to at least get, or to still have it be in development and it not be, you know, out yet. I mean, hell, there are some games who are in development for, you know, comparable amount of time, and they don't even have a playable demo. We at least have a little slice of the PU and have some activities, and once 3.0 comes out, that's going to really shut up all the naysayers. And I just realized I went on a super long tangent, and was really long-winded and completely got off topic. So if you're still with me, thank you. I appreciate that. And with that, I think I am going to call this video done. I would like to thank you for watching, and very, very gracious if you actually stuck through to this long, because I know I can be long-winded and go off on a tangent. So, greatly appreciative that you stuck with me this far. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you think? I really want to know. Let me know in the comments, and I would like to actually have a discussion about this. You know, what do you think? Has it been too long? Has it been not long enough? Do you think SIG is giving us enough behind the scenes? Do you think they should be doing more? And if you think they should be doing more, what do you think they should be doing?
That was it for me.
Tell me. I want to know. I am genuinely interested.
I owe you for this.
And if you have any thoughts or theories or predictions as to what the Consolidated Outland's game changer, the Pioneer, is going to be, I'm even more interested. Drop those down below too. I am very, very curious to find out what this is actually going to finally be, why it has such a high price tag, and why it's going to be limited. I mean, if this is going to be a civilian ship, it shouldn't be limited. You know, it's not like it's a military carrier. So, that's just a couple of things that I've got a little bit of a gripe with, and you know, I still absolutely love Star Citizen. I mean, I literally play this every single day when I get home from work for a disgusting amount of time a day. I am borderline obsessed. So this is coming from a place of love, I assure you. So with that, I'm going to end the video here. Let me know what you think, and other than that, everyone have a wonderful night. Peace.